The universe, we are the universe, let it rise. We are the universe, we are the universe, let it rise. We are the universe, we are the universe, let it rise. We are the universe, we are the universe, let it
All right. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be in this amazing, beautiful, transformative planet of ours. This is Metaphysical Meetup with Marc live here on the Intuitive Prospector page on Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Welcome to my spiritual prospectors in search of the diamond within, and of course, the many unknown gems and hidden mysteries that are all around us. And I want to say a big shout out to my team, big shout out to my subscribers. If you're a Patreon prospector or the Diamonds Hub community, welcome, welcome, welcome. Want to just say, today is another day. I'm working through this second surgery, so it's been a little bit of challenging, but that's what life is, right? Life is learn it from experience. That's what I use the acronym for. My little plaque over here says life happens, and it's all about how you respond and react to what life happens. So today we're going to talk about the universe. Got some tips for you, and then we'll do some live readings if you're interested. But just pretty much your local Seattle psychic medium, intuitive consultant, medical consultant, metaphysical teacher, podcast host, author, UAP UFO experiencer, Bigfoot enthusiast, being here in the Pacific Northwest, the many mysteries that just encompass the journey. So if you're curious like I am and you want to join the community, then come on board, and I'll take your questions here in a little bit. And I just wanted to say thank you for joining me this morning. And if you want to subscribe to the page, please hit that subscribe button or share out to somebody you feel might get some benefits from today. What I try to do on Fridays, whether it's here on Facebook Live, is the main show, and then over on my YouTube channel, which you can get here at marclainhart.com. My YouTube channel, The Intuitive Prospector, we have a show that starts at noon today, Pacific Standard Time. And it's just exploring topics that that may be of interest to you. That's why we talk about prospecting, spiritual prospecting, because there is a big difference between religion and spirituality. Religion, being on this planet for over 50 years now, I've my perspective of what I do is religion is more man-made, based on fears and dogmas and things you should do and shouldn't do. And spirituality is about finding your own way, your own pathway, and still bringing values, in morals and ethics and the golden rule and treating people how you like to be treated, that kind of thing from a spiritual standpoint, but just more prospecting on the many pathways that spirituality offers, from transformation to intuition to psychic to mediumship to healing to guidance to what's the whole purpose of why we're here, what's the whole what's the game, if you will. So let me switch over. Let me just make sure we're broadcasting okay. If you want to leave a comment, please do so. I'd love to hear from you, and what brought you here today, and what makes you want to be a subscriber and follow the journey of what I talk about, podcast about, write about, etc. That song that I opened up, all my music is always copyright, royalty free, trademark free. So I have approved music through Meta, and I always want to give shout outs to artists who allow this music to be played like on shows like mine or on my podcast for free. His name is Keith Thomas, and it was called We Are the Universe. And the reason I picked that song was we are the universe. And we're going to talk about a few things, especially the going-ons that have been taking place this last 2 weeks. Specifically, if you're a UAP UFO follower like I am, because I had my first experience back in 1999 off the coast of Puerto Rico, which is the tip of the Bermuda Triangle. But that's what really my own firsthand experience was then, right? But before then, I had seen movies like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Cocoon, E.T., everything that is, based on extra dimensional beings, and or we're alone in the universe. And there's a new documentary that just dropped that I highly recommend. If you've got Netflix, it's called Investigation Alien. I highly recommend it because there's a part in one of the episodes where you see a ball of light, an orb, hovering off the coast of California, Catalina Islands, which is a huge hotspot for UAPs and UFOs. And this ball hovers, this orb, and then it actually goes down into the water, and the water lights up. That's very similar to what I saw in Puerto Rico years and years ago, where I became an experiencer and a believer that there's something more than meets the eye here, right? Just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not here. And mine was very equivalent to what I saw in this docuseries called Investigation Alien, but there was about 12 to 15 balls of light that were dancing around and then came into one big ball of light, went down to the water, and the water lit up, right? This bluish, orangish color. So that's when I became a believer. But what's more interesting with the documentaries that are coming out, the drip, drip, drip that I talk about, it just, it makes me wonder about our universe and, the going-ons with our universe. So let me get over to my, I made some notes here, and let me just get back to my email here. Inbox. So I made some notes about the universe, and we're going to talk about our universe today. And I'm going to start off today's conversation with something that's kind of been fascinating to me and mind-blowing to me. And again, whether you're a believer in UAPs or UFOs, you've never had a firsthand experience like I have. You've only ever seen them in films, a Hollywood film, which is, I get that. But for me, that experience, my Coast Guard days, is what really opened my eyes that we're not alone in the universe. And, for many years, you have to put on your tinfoil hat and people would make fun of you. But, the truth is not conspiracy. And this truth of are we alone in the universe is one of the longest, oldest conspiracy theories known to mankind, going all the way back to caves that date, thousands of years back in the caves of Australia, to cave paintings here in the United States, all around the world, the pyramids, et cetera, paintings. They've appeared in paintings. And, the universe is filled with, I would say, profound mysteries that continue to intrigue curiosity seekers like myself, prospectors like myself, but scientists, philosophers, physicists, and there's shows that are coming out that I think are really relevant because we're approaching this conversation that once was considered taboo or woo-woo to where we're really applying logic in scientific reason and scientific methods. This if you watch the Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch, the happenings going on in the Utah Basin that have been going on for hundreds of years, we're applying the science to that. This new docuseries that I just recommended with George Knapp called Investigation Alien. There's another one that I had interviewed the director a couple seasons ago on Inspired Living, called A Tear in the Sky on Apple TV, that actually starred William Shatner, and they actually capture a portal Stargate infrared ship coming out of the sky over the coast of California, Catalina Islands. So Beyond Skinwalker Ranch, these are all shows that are really trying to approach this topic of philosophy and science and using a scientific method to determine that we're not alone. But the amazing thing to me, and I don't know why more, I guess I do know why, but we as humans only see in a small percentage of our vision and our hearing in the frequency spectrum. But more people are worried about high gas prices, who just won the election, grocery prices, the things that are in the material world. And for those of you that are on a spiritual awakening, a quest, if you will, if you're spiritual prospecting to unlock doors that I have a long question. The thing for me that was very interesting this last week was, sorry, I have to readjust here. I just had surgery on my knee. Is that I watched the Senate Intelligence Committee, which is a committee that reports to Congress and our government here in the United States. And they actually weren't asking if they, aka UFOs, UAPs, extradimensional beings, they were no longer asking if they are here or if they're real. In this Senate Intelligence Committee, you had whistleblowers that are raising their hand under oath, under perjury, and could go to jail for lying, raising their hands, from four-star admirals to scientists to academia, teachers from Stanford, from Harvard, that are all raising their hands to say, yes, we are not alone. We have recovered trans-medium vessels. There is alien bases out in the ocean. Again, 70% of the planet is covered in ocean. And maybe they never did come from outer space. Maybe they've been here all along. So that's why I'm saying we researched some of these docuseries I'm talking about. But the thing that blew my mind watching this, and I was watching it live, is they weren't asking if they are here and if they are real. They were actually stating why are they here. So we've switched from asking if they are real to asking at the highest levels in a public forum under oath why they're here. And the one congressperson that was doing I think it was a congressperson or a senator, I can't remember right off the top of my head, but she said this is something that is we go to the fear-based energy with this, which I don't find this to be fear-based. That's just human nature. What we don't understand leads us to fear. And if they've been here all along, they've been observing us and showing us, that's why UFOs have lights, because they show us that they're here, right? And move in ways that we don't understand, from modern aerodynamics to modern flight to just the laws of gravity and physics. They defy all of that. But she said this is a national security threat. And why are they here? Not if they are here and if they are real, but why they're here. So they're acknowledging that there is something going on. And for them to say, why are they here, and then apply it to a national security threat not seen since 9/11 and bring that fear energy into it, I just found it to be very fascinating about our universe and our place in this universe. And, I was just excited because they're admitting it without saying, yes, they're here, because they've just shifted. From a psychology standpoint, they shifted the conversation to say, why are they here? And there's even a report that just came out from Harvard that says, and I'd love to know where they got their analysis and their information, but they're saying that aliens have been living among us and are here right now. And this is coming from Harvard. So we're talking, we're not just talking these, one-offs. We're talking military generals. We're talking scientists. We're talking physicists. We're talking philosophers. We're talking academia, teachers, and places like Stanford University and Harvard University. They're saying, yes, we can finally admit that we're not alone in the universe. And so today, the topic is the great universe and the unknown. But you got to think about it. The universe either created itself, something or someone created the universe. So that could be from the perspective of God. This is a simulation. or it's existed the entire time. Those are the three options of the universe in which we find ourselves. And I've long like just kind of sat with that, like, wow, that's kind of mind blowing if you think about it, right? That we are, one, not alone in the universe, and we are not the alpha species that we think we are. But two, that the universe was created somehow, and the only three things it can be is it created itself. So I guess you could go with the Big Bang theory, just boom, and it existed, and here we are, having these conversations, or something or someone of a higher intelligence created it. Is it the living matrix? Is there an intelligence that's far superior that we are living in a matrix modality, right? I don't know. I've had some very interesting, experiences, out of body experiences, near death experiences that make me question the reality of what we see versus what we see. Or it's always been. And if it's always been, then what does that mean for our journey and why we're here? So today I want to talk about the universe and our place in the universe. And then I will take some of your comments. So if you want to start sharing out the page, subscribe to the page, learn more about me at marclainhart.com, or just internet search the Intuitive Prospector. You can get my new book, Reflections Between Worlds. You can get to my podcast, which is now syndicated on any major platform, wherever you find your favorite podcasting shows. Just look for Inspired Living and My Ugly Mug. We're going into our 9th season already, and we have a lot of fun. We have some really great guests coming up to finish out the year as we move into 2025. And I hope that you'll join me on this journey as a spiritual prospect in search of your own diamond within and the many gems and mysteries that are out and about. And again, if you're a subscriber, thanks for being a subscriber, a Patreon prospector, or joining my Diamonds Hub community. Very low cost, $4.99 a month for Diamonds Hub. And you can get all those links here at marclainhart.com, or post in the comments in my team if they're on this morning. I'm not sure if they're on this morning. If they are, good morning to you. They'll answer your questions as well. And then I'll do some live readings, Zoom room. I do have the phone, so I do have the phone with me for my business line that I'll put in the comment section, or you can just comment in the section. But subscribe, share, like, follow, have fun, live life, carpe diem, right? That's what life is all about. So the first concept, talking about the universe today, again, the universe either created itself, something or someone created it, or it's been here the whole time. All three of those definitions are still mind-blowing and hard to get your mind around, right? But if we talk about some of the biggest questions when it comes to the universe, and again, I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about today, and I usually prepare through my meditations, and I was up at about 3 o'clock this morning, just kind of working through the pain of this surgery I just had on my knee. But the kept coming, like, let's talk about the universe. Let's talking about what's happening in our world, whether it's UAPs and UFOs to the fear of World War III, right? A lot of stuff that I said would happen in the Roaring 20s of Transformation. You can go back and listen to those podcasts from 2018, 2017. A lot of stuff that's unfolding now, I talked about back then. And saw a lot of disturbance, a lot of transformation, a lot of chaos, a lot of Phoenix rising energy from our Roaring 20s. And we're only in 2024. So we're going to be next year. We're going to only be halfway through this transformation. And we're already seeing everything from AI to robotics to rockets, 23-story rockets coming back and being caught on, chopstick arms. It's amazing time to be alive and observe everything that's going on. So the first one when it comes to the universe, one of the big questions is called, what is dark matter? And dark matter is comprising about 20% of the universe. And dark matter does not emit light or energy, and it's making it invisible and detectable only through its gravitational effects. So you may have heard, I think there's a show called Dark Matter, if I'm thinking about it. But Einstein talked about this, gravitational waves that go through space and time in our universe. A few weeks ago, I talked on the podcast about the Drake equation, which is a mathematical equation of how big the universe really is on our human perspective. I also talked about the Drake spheres, which is when a species reaches an advanced technology point, they usually will build around their planet, or they will build around a star to harness energy, to clean the planet and to harvest the energy. And that's called a Dyson sphere. And both these were written by physicists back in the 1960s, Drake and Dyson. wrote about these. And then, of course, the Earth 2.0, which is twice the size of Earth that we have supposedly seen with the James Webb Telescope. But I talked about these mysteries of the universe, and Einstein talked about gravitational waves almost 100 years before they were actually confirmed by the scientific method. And one of those is called dark matter. And again, it's compromising about 20% of the universe, which if the universe based on mathematical equation is so vast, 27% is actually a pretty good chunk. That's 1/4% of the universe is what's known as this dark matter, which is only detectable through its gravitational effects. If you've seen the movie Interstellar, great movie, great. It talks about time and theory of relativity and bending space and time, dark matter, what happens when you run into dark matter. But it's one of these questions that scientists are working on today. The James Webb, the Kepler, the Hubble, they've all been looking for this dark energy, this dark matter. And it's really just kind of a mystery of why it's here and how it works within our universe. But that is the first thing I'd say when it comes to the mysteries of the universe is what is dark matter? And we just don't know. We know it's detectable through gravitational waves, and we know that it doesn't emanate any kind of light or energy. So, and again, if you think about us as humans, if you break down of what we see and hear in a scale, we're actually quite blind and we're quite deaf on the grand scheme of things. So there's a lot of things that are happening around us that we just don't see here. For those of you that have started the spiritual path, have awakened, become a prospector like myself, the curiosity, you start to open up your third eye. You start to work with your clairs, which is in conjunction to your known 5 physical senses: see it, taste it, touch it, hear it, smell it, etc. And so when you start to open up and work with different modalities, it could be meditation, it could be qigong, it could be breath work, it could be plant medicines. A lot of the stuff that I've worked with over the years has really broadened my perspective, and that's what I try to come on and do. You may disagree with what I'm saying, and that's okay. We can still agree to disagree and be civil about it. But I like to present stuff out like a smorgasbord of information, a encouragement buffet to be like, hey, maybe think about this a different way, or maybe try this a different way, and just help, to be in service. That's what these shows are about. This is my time, my pro bono work to help you, to get a reading, to give you a reading, to come into the Zoom room and maybe do a healing. And of course, if you're one of my first subscribers, the first Friday of every month is Diamond Days, where we have a morning and an afternoon session where you can come in and do a meditation, ask me questions, numerology, psychic, mediumship. And those are dedicated to my subscribers on the first Friday of every month, called Diamond's Day. So we'll have one here on December 6th. So in 2 weeks, we'll have another Diamond's Day. So another reason to be a subscriber, either Patreon Prospector. You can get the link here at marclainhart.com, or my Diamonds Hub subscribers, or get on my YouTube channel and join almost the 25,000 spiritual prospectors that are asking questions just like myself and have that unity through community. What is dark energy? Dark energy, this is the mysterious force that's believed to make up about 68% of the universe. So this energy is out there, right? And I always go back to Nikola Tesla, who in the late 1800s was talking about, if you want to start to unlock secrets of the universe, you have to start thinking in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And this dark energy encompasses, based off the Drake equation, is about 60% of the universe. So it's over 50% compared to dark matter. So we have dark matter, we have dark energy, and it's 68% of the universe, and is thought to be responsible for the accelerated expansion of the universe. So, for example, we can take our telescopes and look back at time, and before the James Webb, which was most of the telescopes besides the Kepler and the Hubble telescope were based here on Earth, and then the Hubble and the Kepler were in the atmosphere of the Earth. Now the James Webb has taken that even a step further, and has been put up 1 million miles in its own dark space of space. And what it's looking back at time, where, like I said, either the universe has created itself, something or someone created the universe, or it's been here the entire time. And one of the ways that the telescope can look back is, we thought the universe was about 9 billion years based on the Big Bang expansion. And that dark energy is what accelerates and pushes out the universe to expand at a very fast, accelerated rate. Well, when the James Webb got into its orbit to look back, they realized they were off a few billion years, right? So it wasn't 9 billion, it was more like 13 billion. So these telescopes are rewriting history, rewriting science as we know it today. And you got to remember that, science is the truth of what we know. It doesn't lie to us, but it just tells us what we know to that date, and it's always subject to change. But during this, we've accumulated what we now know as dark matter, dark energy, and this dark energy is what is pushing the universe to expand at a very accelerated rate. So what we see in stars is looking back in time. For example, when you see the sun with your physical eye, that light of the sun took 8 minutes to get from the sun across space and time to the earth. So you're actually seeing the sun 8 minutes in its past. So if the sun was to blow up, we wouldn't know for 8 minutes unless you had a telescope pointed directly at it in real time. But to the human eye, it takes about 8 minutes for that light to travel from the sun to the third planet from the sun that we would call sunlight. So what we're seeing is not even in real time, which is interesting, right? And so, that leads us to what I was saying earlier to open the show. Are we alone in the universe? I no longer believe that we are. I believe that, art has always told us, I always say, does art imitate life or does life imitate art? Movies have been telling us for years. Scientists have been telling us for years. The military somewhat has been telling us for years. Our government has not been telling us for years. They violate the Constitution every single day on this 75-year known history of interactions with these extra-dimensional beings. So our own government is not transparent. And I can say that now. I am retired. I no longer work for the federal government. I will no longer work for the federal government. But I did 23 years for the federal government in oversight. And I can tell you there's a lot of BS, there's a lot of red tape, there's a lot of bureaucracy. And it doesn't surprise me that what's going on in modern times in the cleanup and the clean out of the federal system, that doesn't surprise me at all, because there is a lot of wasted talent, there's a lot of wasted money, and there's definitely no transparency to tell us that we deserve to know as a taxpayer, as a person, as a defender of the Constitution. We deserve to know that we're not alone, what we would call full disclosure. And that comes into the third topic of, are we alone in the universe? And the search for extraterrestrial life has been going on. It raises questions about the existence of life beyond Earth and our connections and our conditions that might support that. And I believe, and I have podcasted, I have forecasted, and I have predicted that in our roaring 20s, we would officially learn that we are not alone in this universe. We are not the alpha species that we think we are, because the way these objects move, they define space, time, and physics as we know it, and gravity. Nobody on the Earth, the planet, has that type of technology. And they've been observing us. Again, why do UFOs have lights? Because they're showing us. They're showing us that they're here. And I don't believe it's a hostile takeover from a Hollywood movie kind of Independence Day kind of thing. I believe that there's a future. And if they have the ability to time travel, they may be us from the future coming back to save our planet, so they have a future as well. So it raises a lot of questions in that docuseries. That's what I would say. Watch that docuseries on Netflix, Investigation Alien, because it is very enlightening, full of knowledge. Broaden your mindset, open that perspective. You may not believe. I didn't believe in psychic. I didn't believe in mediumship. I believed in, God and something bigger than ourselves, but it wasn't until I had my own experiences. It wasn't until I experienced grief at such a depth that I never thought I would, or my own near-death experience, or my own out-of-body experience, or my own UAP experience, that became what I call soul adventures, that allows me to talk about this openly and transparently and help you feel that, that broader mindset. I'd rather have a mind filled with wonder than one limited by belief, is really where I would go. It's like a parachute. A parachute is not going to work unless it opens. And that's kind of the same thing with your mind. So are we alone in the universe? I don't think we are. I think they've been here for a long time, and they're either been on the planet, down in our oceans, which was just confirmed to be alien bases in the oceans. Now we need to see the proof of it, right? We need to see the DNA. We need to recover. And I've always said in our roaring 20s, it wouldn't be our government that's going to tell us. It's definitely not going to be the news cycle. The news cycle got so many things wrong in this last election. I'm just laughing because, a lot of people getting fired, a lot of people losing their salaries because they just didn't get the pulse of what was going on. And I haven't trusted news cycles for a long time. I have family members that work in the industry, so I know the ins and outs and the behind the scenes and the editing process. The television, right? You're watching a program through a television, just break it down and it becomes very clear. And so I always said that the government wouldn't tell us, and the news cycle, they're starting to report on it more. There was just a local report in Michigan where they did recover aircraft that was shot down by the two F-18s. Local channel was reporting on that. I have seen stories now on 60 Minutes, ABC News, CBS News. So there is some reporting going on the news cycle, but I've always said it would come through crowdsourcing. That with our technology and with our smartphones and our internet and our social media and the platforms on social media, there will be something that's going to happen that the world cannot deny. And that could be just simply a ship showing up, hovering. My vision has always been this ship hovering over the ocean, clear as day, right there for everybody to see, lights winking and blinking, visible during the day, but just sitting there without a communication, just letting us know that they're here without creating a stir or a fear. Are they going to attack us? Are they going to? And I think we're fearful of aliens and extra-dimensional beings. Personal opinion is because of the way we treat humans, how we treat other humans in history past. That's not even my opinion. You can go history past just to see how, going all the way back to indigenous cultures, how they treated other cultures, how they treated other tribes that enslaved their own people. But I believe that we fear not being the alpha species because of how we treat other people and other humans and how we treat our other species on this planet and animals, right? Humans are not the best example of how to treat others, right? And so my vision has always been a ship that makes itself apparent over the body water, so it's not hovering over a city, it's not creating any chaos or fear. It's just there and it's sitting there, and it doesn't even need to communicate with us. It just lets us know that they're observing us. And that to me is a higher intelligence. That's a higher vibration. That's a higher energy. That's not a hostile, violent, low vibrational energy. And the social media platforms will pick it up and they will stream it, and that's called crowdsourcing. And I believe that we'll have full disclosure through crowdsourcing. But this drip that I've been talking about for several years now, I said would come to light in our roaring 20s. And in our roaring 20s of transformation, we would learn that we are not alone in the universe. And that ties into today's conversation about our universe. It either created itself, something or someone created it, or it's always been. It's got to be one of those three options. There's no other options, right? So are we alone in the universe? Wait, watch, and witness is what I say. What happens? People have asked what happened before the Big Bang. The Big Bang theory, again, not proven, theory, hypothesis, describes universe expansion from a singularity. So it goes to that point that the universe created itself from a single singularity, boom, the Big Bang, and it then expanded, and then 13 billion years, the universe has just been expanding out, right? That's in a three-dimensional construct. That's thinking in three-dimensional terms. We know, as science teaches us, that the brain can actually receive in 12 different frequencies. So you got to wonder, is the Milky Way just one bubble in a three-dimensional construct? And there's many bubbles with stars and galaxies all within it. Again, I know, mind-blowing. It's hard to get your head around. But stay with me. We're prospecting here, right? But what happens is the expansion from a singularity, but what preceded before it always remains a mystery. We don't know by science. We may never know, right? But I also feel like artificial intelligence that is here, I can look right here. I've got my AI companion on my Zoom ribbon down below. AI is going to assist not only with just robotics interactions. Probably when I'm an old man, I'll probably have a robot with AI taking care of me, right? But I believe AI is going to start to unlock some doors based on philosophy, physics, spirituality, religion, questions we've been asking for a long time. I don't know if it'll answer the Big Bang theory, but I believe that it will start to give some mathematical equations of what happened prior to the Big Bang, if the Big Bang actually happened. Again, that's a singularity that just exploded, and then here we are, right? The stars, you can see the stars all behind me, right? So we don't know what happened with the Big Bang, and as of today, it's just a theory. Now we have to apply time. Time is a construct based off of what man has created, right? Earth goes around, and yes, this was at once debated that the Earth was stationary and the sun went around the Earth, right? Because that's what, Copernicus, when he pointed his telescope up, said, hey, leaders of the time, that's not really how this works. We're actually going around the sun. And so what happens is we go around the sun on a certain cycle. Those cycles are broken down into years, broken down into months, broken down into weeks, broken down into days, broken down into a 24-hour construct divided by 2, 12-hour days, night and day, time, right? That's the construct of time. So time is a construct created by us. So the nature of time is a fundamental aspect of our universe. It's true to nature, whether it's linear, secular, or an illusion, right? So you have to think about this. Time itself, and again, bear with me here, it's either linear, it cycles, or this whole thing is an illusion. And it remains a topic of both deep philosophical and scientific debate as far as the construct of time. And this ties into the extra dimensional beings, because if they're so far advanced, they've obviously figured out a way to bend space and time and the theory of relativity. If you were to go to the speed of light, here's an example. If you were to get in a spaceship and go for 5 years, let's say you're at the age of 15, you get in a ship, that ship goes the speed of light through the universe to another location. Let's say the Pleiadians invite us to go visit their planet. And you spend 5 years traveling through space and time at the speed of light. You've left at the age of 15. You return in those 5 years. After 5 years, you return back to Earth. The time construct has changed because you've moved through space and time at the speed of light. The people you knew, you would only be 20 years old. You've only aged to 5 years, but the people you knew back on Earth would now be 65 years of age, right? So again, Interstellar does a really good job of talking about time, the Tesseract. I've got an example of the Tesseract right here that I bought at a Conscious Wellness Expo some years ago. Dimensions within dimensions, portals and bubbles within portals. This is what a Tesseract looks like in the movie. And I believe that's the construct that is definitely, again, not proven theory and hypothesis, but it just makes you wonder based on time. But what is the nature of time, right? We all have a place to be. We all have watches. We got to be at work. We got to be here for the show. We got to be, I got my podcast on Wednesday at noon. So time is a construct, but is it linear? Is it secular, or is the whole thing an illusion? And it remains a topic of great debate that we probably won't know for many years to come. What is the fate of the universe? What is the fate of the universe? The ultimate fate of the universe, whether it will continue to expand forever, collapse back on itself, or we reach what we call a state of equilibrium, or homeostasis, which is equilibrium in a medical term, is uncertain. We don't know. We don't know. But it's something you have to ask these questions. This is what a prospector does. If you're spiritual prospecting, these are the questions that you're asking. And it's very fascinating. What is the fate of the universe? One day at a time. That's what I say. Are there parallel universes? Maybe you've asked yourself. There's a lot of movies and series that come out that have talked about, from the Avengers, the multiverse, Stargate. When I was growing up, that was a fabulous series and a movie that came out that really kind of blew the mind. Like, is there ability to go through space and time through wormholes, multi-dimensions? Einstein and his collaborator Nathan Rosen, two scientists called the Einstein-Rosen bridge wormhole theory, talked about this and wrote about this and published back in the 1950s, I believe, that still applies today. And again, it's that science fiction at some point becomes science fact. We just have to wait for technology and, broader minds to prevail, I guess. But are there parallel universes? The concept of a multiverse suggests that there could be, and science is showing this, mathematics is showing this, vibration is showing us. If you've ever done the experiment with a vibration table, you hook up certain cables to this table, you pour a bunch of sand on the table and you vibrate it at certain frequencies, different hertz. Like my singing bowls are at 432, which is the healing frequency. And you vibrate it, the sand or salt will actually create sacred geometry shapes. And that is an example visually of proof of, just because we don't see it on the vibration with this vibration of this eye, we change the vibration up or change the vibration down, sacred geometry patterns, perfect squares, circles, rectangles, they all create within the sand. And so that's an example of extra dimensional parallel universes. And it's just interesting because our movies and our series now are talking about it like it's like we're no longer asking if extra dimensional beings are real or if they exist. We're asking, why are they here, right? The same thing with the parallel universes. Perhaps infinite universes exist alongside our own, each with different physical laws. And so again, just because you're vibrating at this frequency here in a three-dimensional construct, a higher vibration in a fourth dimensional or fifth dimensional construct might be a reality for somebody else, right? There may be somebody like you and I that are doing the exact same things at a higher vibration in a different dimensional universe or parallel universe. What is the true nature of black holes? Well, black holes are well studied. We are learning more about them. We are seeing them. The first one was actually captured by a student, I believe, attending Harvard, actually captured for the first time to where we could visually see a black hole. But they've been well studied for years. But their internal structure and what happens to the formation that falls into them changes our understanding of physics. And if you, like I said, if you've seen Interstellar, there's a black hole that appears by Saturn, and they go through this black hole. And again, we don't know if that's a gateway to another dimension. Does it, because it sucks in everything, energy, dark matter, dark energy, all light. Does it just construct down to a singularity and emerge in a different dimension? I guess we'll find out at some point, right? We'll send a drone, a probe, or something to investigate and see what happens. But I don't know. It's just interesting, right? But it just challenges our understanding of science today and physics today. How did the first stars in galaxies form? The process that led to the formation of the first stars and galaxies after the Big Bang are still not fully understood. There's nothing I could find in research that would support this understanding. And again, it comes back to the universe created itself, something or someone created the universe, or it's been here all along. All three are just still mind-blowing. And then, just the last tip I would say for today's topic is the consciousness, because our consciousness is expanding. We're seeing this from people awakening around the planet. The songs that are happening, the writings, the publications, the science, the in-depth of, just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not around us. The microscope, the telescopes that are out in space. Science is expanding, and this consciousness, if you will, it's strictly a cosmic question, I guess, into the fact that understanding the nature of consciousness and its relationship to the universe, I feel remains one of the most profound mysteries that we could, talk about in the time that it takes to understand consciousness. But consciousness is expanding. And, these questions that I'm presenting to you today, it just requires you to further explore. Maybe you go into a certain field you didn't think you'd go into, and do your own research, do your own prospecting, and contributing to our understanding of the cosmos, understanding of the universe and our place in the universe, and how we exist in this universe. And again, you start asking these questions, there may be more questions than answers, if you will. But it's fun. It's fun to prospect and ask these deeper questions of who are we, why are we here? And again, the universe either created itself, a singularity, Big Bang, something or someone. You may refer to that as God or Allah or the divine beings. It just depends on where your learned behavior is too on this planet, right? Or it's been here all along. All three are fascinating within in their own right, and require us as humans to question the status quo. Require us as curiosity seekers, as spiritual prospectors, to say, what is the universe? Why are we here? Kind of reminds me of the movie Matrix when Neo walks in and the little kid is bending the spoon. And then he says to Neo, don't try to bend the spoon. There is no spoon. That's consciousness, right? So I hope you enjoyed today's topic. We'll get into some readings here. Let me switch over. I'm just going to take a quick break. We're going to switch over and get ready for some live readings. How this works is if you're a subscriber to the page, if you're a Patreon prospector, a Diamond Sub subscriber, or you have been being a star sender to help pay for my coffee during the shows, that's who I go to in order of a queue. And then eventually I try to get to everybody if time allows and if I have enough energy to do so. But I will actually put the Zoom link in. Let me get that invite set up, and that will be in the comment section. I'll put an avatar so you can find that avatar. And again, if my team is on, I greatly appreciate my moderators. They're on to keep the comments clean, keep the community positive, encouraging, uplifting, motivating. We don't need spam people coming in trying to get a better reading or get more accurate. Don't follow that bullshit. We don't reach out to you for any kind of cold readings. If you want to come in, you'll come in. If you want to, prospect together and have that unity through community, you will. Right? It's simple as that. So let me get to the page. Put some comments in. I'll put the Zoom room so you can come into the Zoom room and you can ask me, anything as long as it's respectful. Anything metaphysical. Psychic mediumship. So I'll put the avatar. Let's see here. What's a good avatar this morning? Let's do the good morning. Put the Zoom link in. All right, so look for the good morning avatar. That Zoom link is in, and then I'll also have my phone ready if you want to give me a call. This is my business line. So let's do an avatar with some sort of phone in hand so you can kind of see that. I got a new avatar that I've set up, so I'm kind of, let's do the hello 206-588-0661. That is my business line if you want to call the phone and ask me a question, or you can post a comment in the section and then we'll go through the comments and get to your questions. And today's topic was all about the universe. The universe either created itself, something or someone created it, or it's been here all along. And I hope you enjoyed that topic for today. So we're going to just take a quick music break. We are going to play Feels Good. And I'll come back with the artist name once I pull that up, and we'll be back here in just about 2 minutes. And you are connecting with me, Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, and you are part of the community for Metaphysical Meetup with Marc live here on Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we will be right back after this short break.
When we're all in a better place, when we're all in a better place, if the wind blows free from the treetops to the ocean, why can't we be in a better place? In the sun, and it rains on everyone, and everything's undone and broken until we're all in a better place. Yeah, we're all in a better place. When the water flows straight down to the ocean, why are the lines so hard to trace?
Okay, welcome back. That was Peter McConnell in a better place. Okay, pause. I was trying to play this song called Feels Good, but it was not, it's a new song I just downloaded. So for some reason it wasn't streaming, so I'll have that figured out by next week. So I hit the play button, but just doesn't want to go. So we went with A Better Place. So all right, so let's give out some shout outs. Again, how this works, looking for my subscribers, Patreon or Diamonds Hub, star senders, and if you have a badge next to your name. So the Zoom link is out if you want to come into the Zoom room and ask me a question or have a live chat, live reading. Always willing to see what we get, see what we prospect for. No guarantees, right? Especially if it's mediumship, but that's the only way I do mediumship is through the actual interaction live with you. Either through the phone or through the Zoom room. Can't do it through the comment section. It's just too clunky, too rough. I used to do that back in the early days and it just did not go very well. So, okay. So let's see here. Let's see who we got on with us. Shut this down here. All right. Good morning, Maria. Good morning to Kara. Good morning to Lori. Good morning to my mom. Good morning, Karen Lee Bauer. I just got back from Sedona, so this is perfect timing. Yeah, Sedona, again, a portal, right? Places around the planet are very interesting. And I was going to say too, y'all, I'm sticking with the music. I've figured out some of the advanced features of Zoom, and there's a couple weeks ago I tried to do a singing bowl, turn the music for musicians off, or turn it on so you can capture like background, like guitar or singing bowls or different instruments, and it didn't come through very well. So I'm just going to stay, I think, with the music format that's copyright free and trademark free. So let's see here. So yeah, Sedona, interesting places around the world for sure. Good morning, beautiful morning. Sorry I'm late arriving this morning. No worries, Misty. Good to see you. Hi, Julie. What do you think about these being time travelers? Use us in the future revisiting us. Julie, I would say watch that docuseries that I recommended, Investigation Alien on Netflix. It just dropped with George Knapp, who I followed for years on Coast to Coast Radio. I think it's 8 episodes, but they talk about that. They actually go to a professor at Montana State, who's an anthropologist, and his theory is it is us from the future, and he bases that just based on the size of the cranial. If you go back to Magma Man or go back to prior to Homo sapiens, before humans, our skulls look different. And what he's done is he's done a model where if you advance it out into the future, our heads get bigger, our eyes get bigger, and we start to resemble extra-dimensional beings, the Greys, the Palladians. And so he says they may actually be our cousins, part of the same family tree in the DNA, just different, looks different, right? And you can just look back at your own ancestors and say back 150 years if you find a picture. I found pictures through my ancestry tree all the way back to 1490, coming from Friesland, which is Norway, north of Norway, country of Friesland. And I've looked back at even some of the pictures just from 60, 70, 80 years ago that were public record, and we looked different back then compared to how we look now. And then you look at some people and they do look kind of alien, depending on how much Botox or how much plastic surgery they've had, right? But his theory is it is us, Julie, from the future, and they're coming back because again they seem to have an interest in our nuclear. Before nuclear was atomic, so they started really showing up around the atomic period, the late 40s after World War II, moving into the nuclear capabilities. And they have a lot of interactions with our nuclear, and I think that's why they say national security threat too, because I personally believe it could be us from the future, our cousins, same DNA family tree, coming back in that grandfather effect to be like, hey, you can't kill us now because there's no us in the future if there's no planet for us to inhabit, right? You make a planet inhabitable, and what nuclear weapons can definitely do that. But they talk about that in the docuseries, so I would definitely check that out. And it just dropped on Netflix, called Investigation Alien with George Knapp. But great question. Hey, Miss C, how are you? Thanks for being a follower. Good morning from across the big pond. Hope you are well. I am well. Second major surgery in 7 months, so you just have to endure. And it's happening for me. It's not happening to me. But I did a number on my knee. It's just based on my years of Coast Guard service, based on my years of firefighting. The surgeon said it was degenerative. It's called a happy smile tear. So I tore my patella on both sides in front of my kneecap that actually holds my lower leg in place. I detached on both sides and ripped down the middle so it looks like a smile face. I took pictures of it yesterday. He showed me, and I was like, that's pretty intense. But I've got a mesh cable system now over my kneecap, and he had to repair both sides and the tendon, the patella tendon. So about 4 months of rehab in conjunction with what I just got done with my rehab for my back. So, but you gotta, mindset, right? You keep going. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And like I talked about last week, get knocked down 7, stand up 8, which is the Japanese proverb. So thanks, Miss C. Appreciate you. Hey, Wendy, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Always appreciate my followers and fans and subscribers. Good morning, Carlos. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. Again, the Zoom room is open. If you want to come in for a reading, the phone line is open, 206-588-0661. Both are in. Look for my avatar, my new avatar. I just updated my avatar. Hey, Ahmed, good to see you. Kathleen says, reading please of time of your choice. Okay. Hey, Adam, good to see you. Adam Woolley. Kara says, fantastic topic today. Thank you, my friend. You can see she's got a little badge. She's a subscriber. Tim Collin. Hello, Tim. Danny Doherty. Hello. Hi, Tim Smith. Good to see you, my friend. Jeff Likens. Jennifer Clare. Hi, Gregory Miller. Amy Mann. Hello, hello. Kevin Stagner. Hello to you. So we got a couple people tuning in today. So again, how this works, you can comment. We'll get back up to Kathleen's. She's wanting reading of my choice. So let me move my latest musical instrument. This is beautiful. It's the finger piano. Going to be using it in my meditations along with my singing bowls. So, but we've got 14 decks here off camera. You can also ask for a book reading. You can come to the Zoom room live and ask me a question, or you can call me at 206-588-0661 and we can have a chat. So everything is open. Let's work with Kathleen first. I'm going to go, what am I drawn to for you, Kathleen? I'm going to go to a book for you. This is kind of reaching out to me. So this is Thich Nhat Hanh, somebody I followed for years, The Art of Living. Just going to open up to a page and just read it based on what's going on. So looking with the eyes of singleness, you will see the person you once fell in love with is still there. Usually when my voice gets tickled, that usually also means that my clairs, my energy, my auric field is starting to open, and it's also my ability to communicate from a mediumship standpoint, just FYI. So he talked about here in the page that I just opened to, great book, if you know the book, The Art of Living, for you, Kathleen. When we first fall in love, all we want to do is look the other person in the eyes and feel their presence close to us. We don't need to eat or drink or even sleep. Just looking in their eyes is enough to survive on. But if we don't know how to take care of our love or nurture our relationship, before long, we don't feel pleasure looking at our loved ones anymore. On the contrary, just looking at them makes us suffer. We would rather check our phone for messages or watch television, even if we don't particularly like what is on, because it's still better than switching off the TV and being confronted with the reality of the other person's presence. This was the case for the French couple over the years. Their love faded. One day, the man had to go away on a business trip and was gone for a few days. It was not the first time, and his partner accepted it with some indifference. Then one morning, while she was spring cleaning her wardrobe, she came up on an LU box, big LU box, I'm not sure what that means, with all of their old love letters. Curious, she opened up the box and began to read one. His words were sweet and tender and went straight to her heart. Over the years, the positive seeds of their love had somehow been covered with layers of dust and mud. But now, as she reread the letters, the good seeds were again watered in her consciousness. She could hear the love and kindness in her partner's voice. So she read another letter and then another. Then she sat there and read all the letters in the box, dozens of letters. It was as though fresh rain had begun to fall on her dry, parched soil. She wondered what had become of their beautiful love, all of those happy days together. She remembered that she used to write to him love letters too, and used to be able to speak to him so tenderly with love, acceptance, and understanding. Having read all the letters, she felt a strong desire to reconnect with the person she fell in love with all those years ago. So she sat down, took out a pen and paper, and wrote to him. She was able to use the same tender and sweet language as in the past. She reminded him of many beautiful times they had spent together, of their special intimate connection, and expressed her wish to renew and refresh their love. She put the letter in an envelope and left it on his desk. A few days later, her partner called to her, let her know he had to extend his trip. She replied with such trust and love in her voice, he was startled. He said, quote, If you need a few more days, darling, please stay, but try to come back as soon as you can, end quote. It's been years since she had spoken to him in such a kind tone of voice. When he got home, he found her letter on his desk. He stayed there silently a long time. All the good seeds that had lain dormant for so long were watered as he read her letter. When he came out of the room to greet her, he was a different person. Her gentle, compassionate, loving words had softened and opened up his heart toward her again. After such a long time, he felt seen, appreciated, and loved. Reconciliation had taken place, and they were able to rediscover each other, renew their relationship, and revive their love. So Kathleen, out of the Art of Living by Thich Nhat Hanh, interesting, based on your relationship. I can speak truth to that. I know exactly that actually resonates with me, and maybe that resonates with somebody else as I read that passage. I've been married for over 30 years, and you start off the courtship, you exactly look in each other's eyes. You can't breathe without that other person. And then over 30 years, or I was talking to a gentleman at my medical appointment yesterday. He had been married to his wife for 50 years, right? It's about rekindling, it's about reviving, it's about rejuvenating, it's about, things do get stale. Us as humans, we get bored with, certain things or certain people, and things move fast. So this is a time to reconnect and go back. I don't know if this is based on your relationship currently, Kathleen, but just something to think about, and be grateful for what you do have, because there are a lot of lonely people. Studies are showing that people are very, very lonely in today's age with technology and the internet. So something to think about. Interesting though, right? I can take that to heart for sure. So, okay. Any other questions? Hi, Kenneth, Blanca, thanks for joining. Kathleen throws some hearts up. Love it, love it. Yep. Okay. Any other questions? I think we've caught up. Zoom room's open. You can learn more about me at marclainhart.com. You can call me on my business line right now, 206-588-0661. Just make sure the volume was up. So you can call me here on my business line. Post a question in the comment section, and we'll get to that. And then we'll call it a day. And then you can catch my next show over on my YouTube live at 12 p.m. Pacific over on the Intuitive Prospector page. If you want to subscribe, love to have you. And we're going to be talking about flowers over on that platform. Today, we're talking about the universe. The universe either created itself, someone or something created the universe, or it's been here the whole time. Either one of those three are mind-blowing, and that's what we were talking about, our place in this universe. So you're very welcome, Kathleen. Hey, Ben. So, hey, Forrest. Giving just shout out to people that are joining me on today's journey, prospecting with me on the many mysteries of life and our planet and our journey and who we are and why we're here as humans. And it's just all a journey. I got Scooby-Doo behind me, the great, the mystery machine, and I'll start to change the background for Thanksgiving, and the holidays are coming up right around the corner here. So, hey, Colin, hey, Peggy, thanks for being here. So again, we're at the last part of the show. If you've got a question you want to ask, please comment. You can get the Zoom link. The Zoom link is located up above. Just look for my new avatar that I've created for the Zoom link. That if it does require a passcode, I don't think it does, but it's the year 2024. If you want to come in and have a Zoom live, you can call me on my phone, 206-588-0661. There's a great way to get a free reading if you want it. If not, then I will call it a day. So this is what I do on Fridays to help you out. It's my time. It's my pro bono work to give back to the community. And again, if you're my subscriber, you'll definitely get a reading or some guidance or an intuitive hit or a card, or like we just did for Kathleen, a book reading. And then of course in 2 weeks we'll be back to our first Friday of every month is for my subscribers, Diamond Sub subscribers, Patreon prospectors. Both links are at marclainhart.com. Also, I think in the comment section here if you want to learn more about those subscribers. But it's another great way to get a monthly reading, numerology, meditation, healing, psychic, mediumship, what's going on in my life. I don't predict people's futures. I don't predict people's deaths. I don't prescribe or diagnose. I'm not that type of psychic or medium. But we usually get something. So any other questions for today? Yeah, Kara, let's get you a book reading. Do you want from the same book that I just read from Thich Nhat Hanh, or do you want a different book reading? How about that? And again, if you're coming in on the comment section, if you want a card, let me know. I've got 14 decks that have been all re-energized and reshuffled. So you can pick a card. Just tell me what card you want, 1 through 14. I can pick that deck. and then we work live and you tell me when to stop. I actually shuffle it live and they give you about 30 seconds to say stop. So you're actually picking the card itself digitally in the quantum aspect. Hi, Dorothy. So Kara, do you want the same book that I just did, or do you want another book that I love, who was a guest on my show? Unfortunately, he was not a guest on my show, but I did do a podcast dedicated to him and his work and his philosophies and writing. But the other book is You Were Not Born to Suffer by Blake Bauer. I love this book. I use this book a lot. So which one would you like? Okay, you want a different book. Let's go with this book. So, Carl, since you're interacting live, I'm just going to flip through, type in the word stop, and I'll stop on that page. Because this is you picking now. This is you and I working digitally. So just type in stop, and when I see it come up, that's the page that I'll pick, and that's the page that I'll read from. And a lot of times, we talk about synchronicities and coincidences. Einstein always talked about, coincidences being God's way of remaining anonymous. Who or whatever God is for you, I don't try to diagnose or label that because I don't know. I know there's something past this life for sure, being a medium. But yeah, Carl, when you're ready, just type in stop, and I'll pick that page. I'm just shuffling right now. Hey, Brian. Hey, Doug. Stop. Perfect. All right. So we stopped on page 208 for the analytical logical mind, 208. And this is what it says for Kara. It says, wherever you are, please take a few slow, deep breaths into your belly. So Kara, follow along. Breathe in what you want. Exhale what you don't. It's nice. So I got the sun beating down on my face. That feels nice. Breathe in what you want. Exhale what you don't. It goes on to say this: fill your whole body from your feet all the way up to the crown of your head, and then down to your fingertips. Please relax any tension you feel and let yourself be. That's why we're called human beings. A lot of us are not good at being. Just let yourself be. Using each inhalation to open your body and create inner space. Welcome everything you're thinking. I'll say that again. Welcome everything you're thinking. Welcome it in, acknowledge it, acceptance of it, awareness, and then let it pass. Welcome everything you're thinking, feeling, and experience here in the moment. This is called the present moment experience. Please be present to your body and to your breath. And then it goes on to say this: every desire in our heart is the evolutionary impulse of life and nature driving us forward towards lasting inner peace, happiness, and the realization of our full potential. The desires in our heart are in fact the desires of God, the desires of the intelligent universe. Interesting, I talked about the universe today and our consciousness and connection to the universe, right? And the realization of our full potential. The desires of our heart, the desires of God, the desires of the intelligent universe, to know itself and expresses itself through our lives. Contrary to our limiting beliefs, we are very capable of creating, having, or achieving the desires that persist in our heart over time. We simply have to find the self-worth to value ourselves and thus not settle for anything less. Every strong desire that we experience contains a vital lesson we must learn in order to find the courage to be true to ourselves, being unconditionally loved into the world, and simply enjoy being alive each day. So Kara, take that next breath in, breathing in what you want. I'm breathing in that sunshine, that vitamin D, especially right now in here in Seattle. Exhale what you don't want. And that's what life is. Life is a series of inhalations and exhalations. That's my breath tattoo. You can see it here. It's the journey of when we incarnate, ... We take in that breath, and then life, and the chaos of life. And then the last thing we do is we exhale, ... Right? This actually now connects, this tattoo, it actually connects to a tattoo on the backside of my back and arm based on vibration. But this is a good reminder. This is one of the most oldest ancient Sanskrits known when it comes to writing. That's all based on the foundations of breath, which I find to be very fascinating. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps. Great book reads today. So hi, Artemo. Hi, Urla. Hi, Carlos. Hi, Kathy Butler. Hello to you. Thanks for being here. So, okay, so last requests. We're taking requests live. You can come into the Zoom room and just click in the link. You're going to have to go up above, or if my moderators are on, I think Colleen was on. I don't know if Jane was on. Hey, is it Adrian? Adrian Hans, hello to you. You can ask in the comment section for a book passage if you want, like we just did for the two prospectors for today's community. You can ask for a card read. There's 14 different decks that have been shuffled and re-energized. Just tell me what deck you want. You can call me, 206-588-0661 is my business line if you want to have a direct conversation without, if you don't want to come on camera, you don't have to. You can call me that way or come into the Zoom room. Just ask if you come into the Zoom room, turn down your volume just so we don't get reverberation or feedback because I end up hearing myself and that doesn't help try to do a live reading. So again, mediumship is the only way that I will do, if it's a mediumship request, that means somebody that has lived and died, and we can put that out there to the etheric world, the spirit world. No guarantees, right? I work for them; they don't work for me. And I don't connect to your spirit guides or your angels, or your ascended masters and inspirers. I believe they're all real. It's just mediumship is based on somebody that lived a life, has incarnated, lived a life, decarnated, gone through death, and has now reside on the other side of the spiritual veil. That's what mediumship is. And the only way that works is if we have the triangle: you as a recipient, me as the medium, and the spirit person. You tell me yes or no, not sure, I don't remember. So that's how that works from a mediumship standpoint. And I only do it through the phone and or through the Zoom room. And hopefully now that I'm past the second surgery that I did not anticipate, like I said, I've had two major life-changing surgeries in the last 7 months, one on my back and now the second one on my left knee. It's been hard to generate new content, and I'm hoping to have Experience the Etheric. I'm thinking Monday evenings is what I'm thinking, where it's just strictly all mediumship, and I do live readings. You can come into the Zoom room, call me on the phone, and we can have chats about those that have lived and on your grief, and remember those that are still part of our lives. They're not here physically, but they are definitely here through love, through memories, through the auric field, through energy, through vibration, through frequency, if you will. So hey, Paul, Timothy, hello to you. Hi, Mary. Hi, Morgs. Am I saying your name right? Morgs. Hi, IS. You're welcome, Carl. I hope that makes sense. It's always interesting, right? It's always an interesting coincidence or synchronicity. Yeah, it is amazing. I find this work to be very amazing. Colleen says, got sad kicking my butt lately. Can I get a color card? You bet, my friend. Yeah, sad. So seasonal affective disorder, we have it. It's a real thing. That's a good time to, I take a lot of vitamin D during the winter season, the dark time, especially here in Seattle. We just had that big storm that just hit, but take a lot of vitamin D. I got the sun coming in through right now, so I'll just get that sun energy coming in. Get out into nature. Nature's a great way to get past and get rid of that. Or, as Colleen has requested, to work with a color deck. So, Colleen, you know how this works. Go ahead and type in "stop" into the comment section, and then that's the card that we'll pull for you from the card deck, which is all about color. So whenever you're ready. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. Thanks for being here. We're doing live readings, phone, Zoom room, or post in the comment section. We have Colleen on deck for a color card reading. Take a deep breath, Colleen, type in the word "stop," hit enter, and that's a card we'll talk about. That means that I know that you're on. We're working live in a quantum digital aspect. You're controlling the outcome based on your free will and choice of when you type in "stop," stop. Here's your card. We'll talk about it. Ooh, interesting. The tree of life comes up. I could see it right away when I pulled it. So you picked the color black, which is interesting because color is definitely, it's not considered a color, which is interesting. But find richness from the dark night. Find richness from the dark night. So this kind of represents the sad, if you think about it. There's the sun behind it, right? This is the sad format, that seasonal affective disorder. But it's saying to find richness from this dark night. So find gratitude, attitude for gratitude. Like I said, nature, breath work, meditation, maybe take a nice Epsom salt bath. And also it's a 28. So this is a 1 energy. So this is all about, from a numerology standpoint, 2 is being at peace with what is and the going ons and the busyness of life. 8 is about manifesting. 2 plus 8 is 10, breaks down to a 1 energy, and 1 energy is all about your independent journey. So what this is a reminder for you, Colleen, is to take that blackness that you feel, that blackness of the night, and find the richness in the dark night, because there's a lot to be found that can be good if you apply it. Crystals, playing music. I know when because I've been housebound for almost 2 weeks since my surgery. I had my surgery on Veterans Day on the 11th. I actually tore my ligament the week before on the 5th, which was election day here in the United States, and I had to wait a week because my surgery kept getting pushed back. We were 5 minutes, I was all IV'd up and everything, ready to go into surgery, and they didn't have enough night staff, so they had to cancel my surgery. So I got pushed back. So I understand, that sadness, that you're talking about, Colleen. So find ways to find your release, find, again, things that don't cost anything. Good hydration, good diet, good breath work, get out into nature. Just go hug a tree. Use that tree as a way to find the richness in the dark night, is what I would say. I just been going out, even limping out, as best I can with my walker, and just doing some qigong outside on my front porch or on my side patio, and just getting my energy going, feeling my chi, activating my chi, feeling my chi, living my chi. And nature's a great way to help overcome that. And again, you can take a lot of vitamin D, which I recommend. Go do a polar dip somewhere cold. Some cold plunge work is always good, or take a nice cold shower. It makes you feel alive real quick, I promise you. So you're welcome. You're welcome, Colleen. Hang in there, one day at a time, right? All right. Any other questions? Hey, Shelford, Murray, thanks for being here. Live readings here on Metaphysical Meetup with Marc live. Been going for about an hour and a half here. We talked about the universe. The universe either created itself, something or someone created the universe, or it's been here all along, and all three are just mind blowing. But what's our place in the universe is what I talked about today. So, hey, Paul, any last requests before I start shutting down? Arnaud, hello to you. So we got a lot of people tuning in. Couple questions, couple book references. You can pick a card, 14 decks off to my right. Hi, Paula. Hope I'm saying your name right. I apologize if I'm not. I'm really horrible with names. I don't know. It's something I got to work on and improve the pronunciation. That's why I'm taking Spanish. I've been doing almost 600 days of Spanish, so it's a full Spanish immersion. Hi, Martin. We're last call for live readings, Zoom room. Link is there. My moderators, if you can't find it, ask in the comment section, and they'll copy it and reply to you. Because we get a lot of comments going by the time it's all said and done. But you can call me at my business line. Look for that avatar. 206-588-0661 is my personal business line here for the Intuitive Prospector in the studio. If you want to have a live reading or just ask me something. I mean, of course, come in and be polite and respectful. Don't make a game of it. And most people don't. I have to say, we've only had a few in the years I've been doing this. We've only had a few people that were call up just asking, just being, think they're funny, but they're not, kind of thing. And that's fine. We just, we just hang up. So, but Zoom room, you can come in, just turn your volume down, give me a call on my business line. Don't be shy. Hey, Roseanne. Or post in the comment section that you'd like a card reading, a book reading, or just ask a question. So I'll give it one more minute for you to catch up. And let me see if I can play this song here. Like I said, I tried to play it at the break, and it's called Feels Good. But for some reason, it just did not want to play today. Yeah, interesting. Huh. It'll probably play after the show is done. So, all right, last call. Last call, y'all. Last call. And if you're curious, you want to catch my message over on my YouTube Live, that's over on the Intuitive Prospector. Link is at marclainhart.com. And what I can do, I'll just put my subscribe store link in the comment section if you want to check out my newsletter, my books, my Lavender Love, all the channels that I'm associated with, Diamonds Hub, Patreon, Learn It Live, Insight Timer, Wisdom, all that. I'll just put that in the Facebook page if you want to learn more or get on the subscribers list. So I'll put that in the comment section as well. And then, of course, the YouTube channel is also on there, and I'll put that directly as a subscriber here. But my show will go live here in about a half hour at 12 p.m. Pacific over on the YouTube channel, which we've grown a lot in the last year. We've gone from, I don't know what happened, but as soon as I retired from 23 years of federal oversight work and started doing this more of on a full-time basis, the YouTube channel went literally from 500 subscribers to almost 25,000 subscribers. So that's been really fun to watch. And so that show will be going live here in about 30 minutes if you're interested in listening to that and participating in that. And I'll put that link over if you want to be a subscriber as well. So, okay. So, hi, Esteban. Hi, Reed. Thanks for being here. Any other questions? Last call, last call, last call. Zoom room's open, phone lines open, or comments, taking your comments live here. Just seeing the comments coming up. So I'll close this down with a song. Actually, you know what? I won't close this down with a song. I will take us out with the promo. Where are we at? Inspired Living. Like I said, we have a new podcast this Wednesday, Inspired Living. It's been voted by FeedSource top inspirational podcast, top spiritual podcast. You can get the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. We are streaming through all major platforms now. You can ask Alexa to open up Inspired Living podcast. That will play the latest episode. I'm pointing because my Alexa's here, but I had to change her name because every time I'd say Alexa, she would start to do the voice commands. So I've actually changed her name to Computer. She didn't pick up. Okay. But you can stream us through Audible and, of course, any wherever you get your favorite podcast. We will be having our live show this Wednesday. And then we have a couple more shows in December, and then we're done for the year. And we'll be back for our 9th season starting in January. So, hey, Zach. Hey, is it Thom or Tom? Tom or Thom? Tompkins? Thanks for being here. So seeing some new names come in. So that's always nice to see some prospectors curious about the journey, curious about the message, curious about, what it is I'm doing here every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But I appreciate you all coming in and, joining the community. I always say unity through community. It's been a pleasure connecting with you today. And I'll just leave you again with that thought, the universe. The universe either created itself, someone or something created it, or it's been here the entire time. All three are just mind-blowing. So I'll let you prospect further for that, and I'll see some of you over on the airwaves on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific for another episode of Inspired Living, or you can catch my YouTube show that's going to go live here in about 30 minutes, actually in almost 33 minutes, where we talk about a flower can only be a flower if it's fallen. So that'll be today's message. But until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate, especially in this world that we live in, very transformative, very chaotic, very uncertain times. But at the same time, be an observer, not an absorber. We have a front row seat to many historical events that are going to happen in our roaring 20s. And I'm excited for the future. I am. And I hope that you'll join me on this journey as well as a prospector in search of your own diamond inside and the many gems that are hidden and also in plain sight in our world. So pleasure connecting with you today. Hey, Gregory. Hey, Greg, or hey, Gregory Don Jackson. Thanks for being here. So again, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live, and I hope you'll discover that diamond within. We'll see you next time here for Metaphysical Meetup with Marc live here on the Intuitive Prospector page, also at marclainhart.com, and also over on my YouTube channel, The Intuitive Prospector. Till then, namaste, namago. Cheers.
One planet, 7.3 billion people, only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Marc's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. For more information on Marc's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marclainhart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.